Alrighty, good morning, day 29. Yesterday was daylight savings on Sunday. We're opening the busy week with, at least over here, we're getting some clouds and some sunshine poking through. That's always what I like. At least let's have a little sun, at least a little. Um, Pages 88, 89, 90 for day 29 pretty much goes into this chapter. Let's end with some reflection. So pretty much Lily Singh in this book, Be a Triangle, is talking about pretty much how the process of writing this book was life-changing for her. She got a lot of insights from it, a lot of clarity from it. I like how at the bottom of the page, page 90, it says, kind of wrapping things up with all these ideas about, gratitude and how, the relationship with ourselves and our universe is kind of primary, but then anything else outside of that is pretty much a distraction that would lead us astray. And when that happens, trying to be creative, design a path back home to ourselves. I like how she says, because we do not need to be lost, we do not need to be unhappy, we do not need to feel overwhelmed by life. And so I like that. And, there is this kind of this kind of conflict between what we believe we need to be doing and then the reality of things. So there's kind of this fine line, right, between like setting goals, trying to wade through all the stuff that comes up in the midst of reaching those goals, knowing when to call it quits, knowing when, there's some bumpy roads along the route, bumpy paths along the road, and knowing what to do with those. Because, when stuff comes up, we can't just like quit, it's like just because, say if I'm like having, fitness goals and my car is weird, you know, and maybe it breaks down, and even if I have money to fix it, but it breaks down and it sets me back like 3 days, from my gym workouts, and I gotta stay home instead, and like, instead of just being like moping and being like, dang, I can't do the workouts I wanted to do, so I'm just gonna lay in bed and like eat junk food and play video games and be depressed about it, versus, I mean, I know depression doesn't work that way, like, I'm not saying that just because you're bummed out or sad that you're depressed. Those aren't like the same things. But that term depression, people kind of use it, myself included. I use it kind of interchangeably. Like, I know that there is like real, legit depression, that could be diagnosed as depression, and then there's just a couple days that just having a couple bad days. Like, that doesn't necessarily equate to like depression necessarily. Like, there is a criteria that a person needs to meet to actually have depression, but you can still, I mean, people just use the word like that, and I do too, even though I know it's not the same thing. But anyways, yeah, you can kind of sit around and feel depressed and feel bad, and, versus, choosing like an alternative option. I mean, the gym's an easy one because it's like, okay, if you're home, you can still work out. Like, you don't need that much space to work out. I know I remember talking to someone once who was like, I don't have any space to work out. And it's like, as long as you can stand and even like get like, I mean, if you have like enough space to put down like a yoga mat, you could probably work out in that amount of space. You could get a decent workout. Like, it's a little crammed, you have to have decent enough balance that you're not like bumping into the walls and stuff, but you could still, even if it's high impact, you could still do jumping jacks in that amount of space. You can still do planks in that amount of space. Like, if you have less space than that, You can still do like um, kind of like those. You can definitely do squats. Like you don't need that much space. I feel like most people, even in their bedroom, you usually have enough space to at least walk around your bed. Um, so as long as you have enough space on the side of your bed, you can work out. You know, like maybe it's not ideal. It's not like having a whole room to yourself, like at the gym, how they have that whole like workout room with like the weights and all this equipment, and like you could practice dance, you could practice martial arts, you could practice yoga, you could join a class in those rooms, you know, like you could do all kinds of stuff in that amount of space. You could even run lines in there if you really wanted to. Like it's a pretty big amount of space, but um, you know, a lot of our houses don't have that. Like I used to run lines in my house, you know. I used to run around out in the backyard and like run around, you know, like it was stupid, but it's like it still worked. So it's like even when something doesn't work out, you can make it work out. Just being mentally flexible about things sometimes. I think human brains don't like flexibility. They like to get into this rigid routine mode where you don't have to like try too hard to think too much extra, and you just kind of get into a routine flow because it's less stressful. You know, you don't have to like sit and like mentally use energy to like think about, okay, like I always go to this gym at this time and park in this spot and like, you know, do the same thing versus like, oh, now I need to learn like a bus route or take an Uber or like stay home and figure out how to work out at home. Like just that little bit of thinking makes it so that people would almost rather just like check out and quit. It's like, but the more stuff you have that keeps coming up like that, like I mean, I use the gym as like an easy example. If you're already at home and then you're trying to leave and just go do something optional that's still good for you, but you know, you don't have to do it there and you don't have to do it. So you could still just walk out your door and walk around your neighborhood for free, and you know, you can walk, you know, and not have to worry about, you know, that kind of about having a car, you know, walk around the block a couple times, walk up and down the street, you know. Um, it doesn't have to be like some intensive thing where you have to have equipment or pay for the gym or like get to the gym. Like sometimes the process for me of getting up, getting to the gym, like getting dressed, you know, putting my not putting up my hair, but like putting my hair together and doing all that kind of stuff is like, damn, like I could have just stayed home, you know. Like I'm thinking about it now and I'm like I kind of rather go to the beach today than go to the gym when I'm thinking about it. But I don't know. I'm kind of like I understand that, you know, people want things to work out, but you know, life isn't really like that all the time. And the gym's kind of like a silly little example that I just put out there because it's not really like that, you know. It's not like that big of a deal, you know. But the gym's kind of like one of those little examples where you can be like, okay, like um, that kind of makes sense. Like it's not gonna ruin your day. Like it doesn't have to ruin your day. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to ruin your week just because your car's in the shop. You know. But sometimes it's like, you know, when things already aren't feeling good, or you know, you're already stressed, you're already overwhelmed, you're already just like pushing to your limits. Um, it's hard to have one extra thing go wrong, you know. But you know, and like they say, you know, when it rains, it pours. Like I know that with a lot of people, like you know, when there's one thing that goes wrong, then here comes another thing coming up, and here comes number three, and here comes a fourth little thing, and it is kind of this weird balance between like how to keep your energy like positive. Like a lot of people, I think most people want to have good energy, positive energy. You want to wake up feeling good, refreshed, not sore, not tired, not exhausted, not overwhelmed, not, you know, dealing with trauma memories and anxiety and depression and all. Like nobody wants to wake up feeling like that. You know, I don't know anybody who wakes up and they're like, "Oh God, thank God I feel depressed today. Like I'm so glad." Uh, I'd say maybe I guess um, maybe when people get like that numbness, because I've experienced that before too, just being like numb for a while, and I'm like, dude, I would rather feel bad than feel nothing, you know, like, especially because I'm like a creative person, you know, I like to do my weird little like artsy type things, and it's like I find it really hard to do anything artistic when I don't feel anything. It's like those things for me are very linked. It's like I can't write, I can't really think about what to do because I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna like sit here, you know. Um, you know, like, and you don't get joy from anything, but you also don't really feel much of anything. Like, just to not have your emotions kind of like moving around, that's a weird feeling, and having that for too long can be very uncomfortable, even though it's hard to explain. Like, I think when people are depressed, they say they probably rather feel numb, but when somebody's felt numb before, they don't want to feel numb. Like, they'd almost rather feel bad because at least it's like a feeling. Um, and I think as humans, we're very kind of like attached to like emotional conditions. Um, like, I notice even when I do start feeling better, I'm like, oh no, I hope I don't wake up feeling shitty. You know, like maybe it was just today because I had like a little coffee or whatever. Maybe that's why I feel good. Like, I hope to God I don't wake up tomorrow feeling shitty. You know, and I don't feel shitty every day. It's not like that. It's just, you know, this lately has been like a bit of a time period that, you know, I kind of noticed it. So, if I compare now, like the last 30, almost 30 days, um, and I'll go into it maybe more tomorrow, but the last 30 days, how, you know, when I've been going through this book, and, you know, I felt better going through this book than when I was going through the Jamie Messina book uh, the other 30 days. Now, it's not to say that one book is better than the other, it's just, I just noticed that timeline that, like, when I was reading the Jamie Messina book and kind of wrapping up that book, that was like towards the beginning of February. And I remember being in the mountains at the end of January, right into the beginning of February, and just feeling like, you know, athletically, I didn't want to do much. Like, my head just couldn't even get into, like, you know, extreme sports or even get into the gym too routinely, and like I wasn't able to really work out when I wanted to. Like, there was a part of me that was like, I want to do all this stuff, and then another part of me that was just like, you just do not have the willpower and energy to do this. And, you know, I always know it's gonna pass. You know, I'm like, I always know it's gonna pass. I always know it always feels like way too long, but it was less than 60 days, you know, because it kind of like, there was like a peak of it and then it kind of just settled. But I was kind of paying attention to it, and in recent days, I definitely noticed myself feeling a lot better. I had a really weird day, the day that I went to the mountains. I don't know what that was all about. I was like just highly not feeling well, which I don't know what the heck that was all about. Like, that was weird. And that was about a week ago. But it really lasted like one day, and by the end of that day, I felt so much better. And I think that was like Thursday of last week. Um, so, yeah, I don't really understand it either. Like, it's not like, to me, that wasn't clear. I was like, I should be happy today, but I wasn't, you know. Like, that was one of my worst days in a while. But, I mean, I don't know. I've been feeling pretty good, honestly. Getting out a lot more. That really helps me. Getting out of the house is really something that I value. Um, I don't like to be in the house a lot. I don't like to be stuck inside too much. Um, I just I just don't like it. I try to feel just, you know, I try to pace myself. It's really been helping to kind of write down, like, I try not to have too many places to write down too much stuff, but just having this notepad, on my phone and just I labeled it to-do list. So basically, I track. I haven't been doing it like hour by hour like I was before, but kind of track what I did that day. It's not really like a journal, but it's kind of like, I kind of used it when I was, podcasting, just to kind of say what I'm doing each day. Like, for example, yesterday, I actually wrote down that it was daylight savings, and what time the sunset was at 6:59 p.m. That the sun's gonna start rising around 7 something a.m. So basically, I said it was like a rest and light stretch and I should put medication. I should have put meditation day, and that I slept at 6:40 a.m. or something. Woke up at 1:15 p.m. or so. I submitted some forms for my medical insurance. Of course, it's Sunday, so it's like the mail doesn't really go out, but like whatever. I put it in the mailbox. Did some podcasting. I was sitting in the sun for a while. I ordered some fitness related things, like a helmet liner for my snowboard helmet, so that I'm not having to cram my helmet on top of this beanie. I need to schedule for one of my friend's birthdays to get a trip down to San Diego, and then schedule my snowboarding trip if I can do it this week. I did some journaling at like 9 p.m. It was kind of lights out around 9 p.m., 9:15 p.m. But I put a candle on, did some reflecting, meditating, had some CBD, I don't know, and then started listening to like those kind of sleep talk down episodes around like 10 p.m. and like put the candles out, and I was like, dude, I gotta get to bed. So I probably slept around 10:45, 10:30. I was asleep by 11. I'm pretty sure of that. I woke up this morning when it was light. I don't know what time it was because I didn't look at the clock, but it says the sun comes out at like 7. So let me see what time is sunrise? About 7:05-ish, 7:04-ish a.m. So I was up before that. I woke after sunrise, which is weird for me because I was used to waking up when there's no daylight yet. And then staying up so late after being pumped up from that concert, staying up so late kind of made me a little tired. Like yesterday was just like a blank day. Like I was just kind of a little self-care here and there and just resting. Honestly, I felt exhausted all day, tired all day. Today I'm kind of seeing if I'm doing beach gym, what I'm gonna do, podcasts, that kind of thing. See if a couple of my friends want to hang or not. See if I feel like working on some music. I'm kind of right now waiting for my breakfast to kind of settle. I ate a little late because I'm starting a little late, so it's kind of going to throw my day off, I can tell. I don't like this. I don't like this. I feel like it's already getting late. It's already coming up on 10 a.m. and I haven't really done much today. But, just easing into the day, trying not to make it too complicated. So I'll talk about it more tomorrow, but I have this page, we have like one more page for this Lilly Singh book. It's like one more page, not even a full page, but one more page. So I think I'll do that one more page tomorrow, and then I'm gonna start going into this book by Aina Brion. Aina's Keys, AINA apostrophe S, Keys, Keys. personal freedom. So if she has an intro to her book, I'll start with that intro tomorrow for day 30. And then I'll go into the actual amount of pages I'm going to be reading per day. Let's see, because it's going to start with page 1. So the numbered pages of the actual content are page 1 through 70. Let's see. Page 1 through 70. Page 1 through 70. So, yeah. For 30 days, we can do that. So, yeah, it looks like there are a couple pages. Yeah. So I'm gonna start talking about that book tomorrow, if I can remember that I said that. And then this book will be finished tomorrow. When I finish these books, I've been giving them to my mom. So I don't know if she reads them, but I'm like, I don't know, she can have all my gay books. And yeah, I don't know. I really should get ready to go to the gym. I'm kind of like trying to talk myself out of it, but I need to go. I'm so stiff. It's like staying home and not going to the gym. I'm just not going to feel good. I'm going to feel like stiff and like just, and I had the pre-workout with my breakfast. A little bit. I had like maybe a fourth of a scoop. It wasn't that much, but it was enough, So, I'm going to get my gym bag ready, comb my hair, and get over to the gym. I usually try to get there around 10ish, so I should probably rush a little bit, because then parking starts getting a little too full, and then it starts cutting in a little too close to like lunch, and then it's kind of like a weird time. Like if I go around 10, I have plenty of time to get there, and I want to hit the sauna. I've really been thinking about the sauna. I love the sauna so much. I think I'm really going to take it easy though. Just get on the elliptical, and because it kind of works out my arms and stuff too. That's probably what I'm just going to do, is just like elliptical and, get some cardio in. And listen to the Ashley Gavin We're Having Gay Sex podcast. I tend to like that podcast. It's kind of fun to listen to in the background. Yeah, it's not going to be a very focused workout where I'm like focusing on like, too much. I'm just trying to get the movement and get my body a little loosened up. But I'm going to try to get there close to 10. So it's 9:45 now, so I kind of got to get rolling. Yeah, I'll post this, I guess, once I get to the gym. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.